ready.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I think so.
I'm ready.
Great.
Welcome back to another episode of Yous Wanna Go,
You just want to go
an Indigenous queer podcast about D&D, where we, Indigenous queer people,
talk about D&D.
in a relationship,
Yeah.
might I add,
Yes, again, need the reminder.
need the reminder, talk about D&D.
Mm-hmm.
Last episode we said that the next episode was going to be about, what did we say? Academia.
Mm-hmm.
Surprise. It's not.
It's not. Nope.
It's not. We've decided after trial and error.
Yeah.
That this episode's going to be about being queer.
Queerness. We did record another episode
Ooh,
about
I didn't think we were going to tell the people.
No, we are going to tell the people, and it's fine because it's okay to like do a thing and like have it be not bad. It just wasn't perfect.
It wasn't. It's also okay to for it not to be perfect.
Yeah.
We just
Yeah.
weren't satisfied with what
Satisfied
we
with it.
said in it, so we're
That's
going to do
okay.
it at a later date.
And it's not that the things that we said were bad. It was just that like it was we needed, for me, to talk about indigeneity, it needs to be on it, you know? And I wanted, like, you have such a short, limited amount of time to be talking to people about a thing, and when you have that short amount of time, you want to say like the right things, like the perfect things, you know? Like, and I think we just talked about not perfect things.
You know what I also think?
Yeah.
I think that if we not pad it out, but if we put a couple of episodes before it,
Yeah.
we're going to talk about indigeneity within those episodes, even if the theme is something else entirely.
Of course.
It'll give a bit of like extra context to the conversation that
True.
we have in the indigeneity
Yeah.
episode.
It's true.
Whereas doing it episode 2, what was the first episode even? What did we talk about?
Therapy.
Which is also, there's a lot of integral indigeneity parts to that one as well.
Yeah.
But if we went straight into episode 2, indigeneity, it's
Yeah.
like it's missing quite a bit of context about us.
Yeah.
And the world that we are in.
Yeah. I think like I think you're correct. Yeah. True.
Yeah.
So queerness.
And to compare, queerness obviously has a lot less depth.
You think
So
so?
it's easier to talk about in episode 2. Welcome to the floor.
I think I agree. Welcome to the floor. Queerness is much easier to talk about than indigeneity. It's true.
It is true.
It's true.
It is true. We believe that as queer Indigenous people.
Absolutely.
Or if we want to say as Indigenous queer people, because I guess it matters what order we put that in. I mean, we were born... Hey. I was going to say we were born Indigenous, but, we were born queer too.
Born queer as well. It's just...
My lifestyle choices
Yeah.
are what led me here today.
But, like, queerness can change. Indigeneity ain't changing. You know?
Oh, whoa.
What do you mean?
No, you're right. You're
No.
right in a way, but
yeah, like
you
you're
know.
you will always be indigenous, but the kind of queerness that you can change. You
yeah,
know?
I suppose there's
Yeah.
a fluidity to queerness
Yeah.
that there isn't necessarily to indigeneity.
No.
We're
There is
not
a
talking about
fluidity.
indigeneity today, but yes,
There is a fluidity to indigeneity.
there
There
is
is a
evolution.
a dynamism,
a dynamism
to indigeneity, but
There
queerness
is-
is an
indigeneity-
exploration.
is not static,
No,
but queerness is a journey,
it's a journey. It's a process,
ongoing,
ongoing.
constant. So is indigeneity.
So is indigeneity.
Hey, whatever.
So queerness.
Yeah, we're queer.
Yeah.
If you didn't already
If you
know.
couldn't tell,
And I guess we're talking about. Well, I started saying it before you hit record, but then you said, "Whoa, whoa, whoa,
whoa, whoa, whoa.
wait for the episode."
Yeah. Now
So
we
I
know.
think that today we're going to talk a bit about, and by a bit I mean quite a lot, about discovering our queerness,
Yes.
whilst at the same time being people who play Dungeons and Dragons.
Right.
In both that, without D&D, I think we still would have discovered our queer identities.
I was queer long before we
Yeah.
played D&D.
This is true, but I think D&D was also a vessel
Yeah.
through which our queer identities were shaped, or we were given. This is why I'm doing my PhD about it.
Yes.
Because we were given opportunity to create our queer identities through playing D&D with one another as a couple,
Mm.
and then just in general,
Mm-hmm.
I think, as individuals. And then also I think we talk a bit about, or we will, I presume, gift of foresight, Apollo. Is it Apollo?
I think so.
You know the meme where he's throwing a ball at a kid on the playground?
No.
Gift of prophecy? Is it
No.
Apollo?
I have no idea what
Anyway.
you're talking about.
There's like anytime on Tumblr, right, back in the day, but also currently,
Sure.
if a person made a text post being like, oh, wouldn't, blah, 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 wouldn't it be funny if this thing happened? And then several years later, because Tumblr's been around for over a decade now, several years later, the thing happens. And there's the meme of like a kid on a playground with a big red bouncy ball or whatever,
Sure.
throwing it at another kid.
Yeah.
And it's the gift of prophecy from Apollo to this random person on Tumblr. Anyway. Using my gift of prophecy from, I think, Apollo,
Okay.
I think that in this one episode of this podcast, we're also going to talk about the queer things that we do in our game.
Yeah.
Whether that be character choices or choices that we make as players around the table. What's wrong with my Apollo references? Is it too white?
Yeah, I mean, like, if you're talking to me about, like, Mari Atsua, I probably got more on. Like, I
don't
got
know
that
who
in there.
does prophecy.
I also don't know who does prophecy, but I don't know who the fuck Apollo is. I've heard the name. I don't know who he is.
No, it's not.
It's a ship, a spaceship that I think
The Apollo?
It didn't blow up. Apollo
Isn't
13.
there like 12 of them?
Yeah.
13 at least.
13 is the one that did not get to the moon.
Which one did?
I don't know.
Is that real? I thought that was just a movie.
It's a real movie. Like, it's about a real story.
It's a documentary? Or is
No,
it
it's just a
dramatic?
based on real things that have happened.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. I was never sure because it was a movie and I thought, oh, this just must be them imagining what would have happened to this
Right.
one.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
we're going to talk about queerness
Sure.
and being queer. And I think the choices that we make as players, but also the characters that we write, being queer and how we explore their queer identities in game. And, if we want to get deep and meaningful about it, how that relates to our queer journeys. Yeah.
It does, obviously.
For sure.
The way that we play D&D, the characters that we have been in D&D. Yeah, like, preface, question.
To me?
Yes to you.
Okay.
Prior to playing Dungeons and Dragons, how did you identify with queerness?
Sorry,
Hello.
Just, I also want to preface the episode by saying I'm a little bit on the way out of being sick right now. So if I breathe heavily or like sigh,
Yeah.
it's because I'm trying to breathe. Or if I try to turn away from the microphone to like sniff,
Yeah.
but it picks up, ignore it.
What's that guy? Chocolate Rain? He just like turns away to like breathe.
Tezonde.
Tezonde! Classic. I haven't thought about him in years, but
I
turned
thought
away from
about
the
him
microphone to
recently
breathe.
because he posted a good video
Crazy.
about politics and stuff.
Great.
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
Sorry. Question.
Preface.
Prior to D&D,
Yes.
playing Dungeons and Dragons, which we
Yes.
we started playing properly in 2020.
Yeah, we started
Right.
playing consistently, weekly.
Prior to that, we'd played for maybe 2 years off and on-ish. Prior to that, how did you identify with queerness?
Well, thinking back to when I was a wee youngin.
Yeah.
Well, because there was a point in our lives together where I think it was after we started playing D&D. No, I don't remember.
Mm-hmm.
I quite meaningfully told you,
Yeah.
I think I'm bi, and you said,
Yeah, I know.
yeah.
Yeah.
You told.
You told
Apparently,
me
I
years
had told
ago.
you already.
Decades ago.
Well, it wasn't quite decades,
That's a
but
long time
it
ago.
was in high school. Supposedly,
Yeah.
I told you already.
Maybe not even a year before, like after we started dating. you
So
know?
maybe the question is better put to you. What was my relationship to queerness before D&D? Because you were more aware than I was. Apparently, I completely forgot.
You'd forgotten?
Well, okay. So
yeah.
here's the thing.
Sure.
When we were teenagers,
Yeah.
I was, we were in a small town
Yeah.
in Aotearoa, New Zealand.
Mm-hmm.
I was a child of the internet, given somewhat free reign and little supervision,
Yeah.
and
Always a danger.
but look at me now.
Yeah.
And I think I was of the group. I don't want to say generation because I don't think it was an entire generation thing, but I was of the pocket of the internet at the time where we had this understanding that everybody's a bit gay,
Mm-hmm.
So I think I went through high school being like, yeah, of course I experience attraction to all genders. What kind
That's
of question
so normal.
is that?
What do you mean? Everyone does, though.
That's just a normal thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, my relationship to queerness was an innate knowledge,
Yeah.
but a lack of external recognition because I didn't see the point
You see the point.
in identifying
queerness,
that as a queer label or
Right.
whatever.
Yeah. No, I remember we started dating 2012.
The world was going to end.
The world was going to end. We had 3 months left of the year, and yeah,
3 months until the world ended.
3 months
too.
until the world ended,
I can't remember what date in December it was, but it was in December.
or something like that. And we were hanging out, we were doing dating things, and then you, to my knowledge, you liked boys and girls, and I was like, that's cool. I don't know if you explicitly told me I like boys and girls, but we definitely talked about how attractive some women were, and I was like, you like girls, cool. You're bi, and you said yeah, and I was like, cool, or something like that, you know. And then I was like, cool. And then later on, we 2013 came along. We continued doing the dating thing, and I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm asexual. And you were like, cool, great, nice. So to my knowledge, I knew you were bi before I was
Before
asexual.
you were asexual.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's been over 10 years. I'm unfamiliar with the timeline at this point,
Yeah.
but you're probably right.
Yeah, because I remember feeling comfortable to tell you that I was queer because you had already told me you were queer.
Good to know.
I was like, fine with that.
I think as a teenager, I was 14 when we got together.
Yeah.
You were freshly 15.
Yeah.
And, I think I don't actually remember, but thinking about who I was at that time,
Yeah.
if you'd asked me, not confronted, but if you'd questioned me about my queer identity, if I was bi, if you had proposed to me, you must be bi then if you like boys and girls, I'd be like, yeah, I suppose, but it doesn't matter.
Right.
Because, we're together, and at the time you were a boy. Joke's on me.
Joke's on you.
But, yeah, I was the kind of teenager that was like, I'm still kind of the kind of person where the queer label doesn't really matter to me,
Right.
because, or in terms of sexuality, not gender identity, I suppose, but the queer label of sexuality doesn't really matter to me because you're my person,
Sure.
and whatever label gets ascribed to that, I'm like, that's irrelevant. Ewa is my person. Who cares?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know we've talked about that before, but it is very to me, I identify so heavily with all the things that I made the Facebook post coming out to all of my family
Yes.
and my friends
Yes.
from home and stuff, maybe 2
A
months
month
ago.
and a half, 2 months
Yeah,
ago.
not long ago. And I said in there I was a asexual, lesbian-leaning, pansexual, trans woman. Right? That's all the things that I gave to myself.
Did you have Taktapu in there as well? I feel like you probably did
Taktapu was
somewhere.
definitely in there. It was the first sentence that I had said, basically. But I said all of that thing about sexuality, right? And then, that feels good to me, you know? All of those things. Asexual, lesbian-leaning, pansexual sounds good to me. Pansexual is only there as, a courtesy to men, you know?
To the 3 men.
To
that
the
you're
3 men
interested
that
in.
I am attracted to.
Yeah.
You know, I don't really want to. I'd kiss them. It's pretty much the full extent of what I want to
Zakuyama,
do.
Jesse Cox, and
Jesse Cox, not really. Jungkook.
Jungkook.
and
Zakuyama, Jungkook.
and Brian David Gilbert. Yeah, pretty much. I'd kiss them. That's pretty much the full. I'd hold the hand. Maybe cuddle. That's pretty much the full extent of what I want to do. And then they're women, everything. But again, I don't really want to do anything with any of them. A smooch would be nice. Just the one, and I'd be like, hey, I did that. Continue living your life. See you later. I'm okay.
Do you like the labels then as an indicator to other people?
No, I do. I'm a little autistic bitch that likes putting labels on things.
Fair enough.
I just like labels. I do like them because it helps me understand myself, and then I find my own space within that label. I think everything is a spectrum.
Yep.
Everything, absolutely everything, and I find my place within those things.
You like to
I like to know myself.
yourself.
Yeah, and labels help me with that sometimes.
I
I know
think
people hate labels, and that's fine.
yeah.
But I like them.
I don't particularly like a label
Yeah.
because I'm stubborn and don't like to be boxed in.
Fair enough. That's
I'm like a
totally fine.
raging bull.
I mean, that's totally fine. I think it's cool to not like labels, you know? It's definitely the cool thing to not like. I don't need that. I'm punk rock. I don't have labels. It's like, I don't
Punk rock
care.
is label.
I'm autistic. I like understanding things. Giving it a name is really nice for me. So I do put things on like the way that I am, and I'm like, oh, I have a word.
It's
for that.
also that thing
like
about
articulation.
queerness
Yeah.
where, like, picking out your labels, whether or not they change at a later date or have changed since a previous date or whatever, picking out your labels is a good. It's fun.
Yeah.
To list all the labels to confuse straight people.
Yeah.
I think it can also, when you're getting into the nitty gritty with other queer people,
Yeah.
it can be helpful for them to know what brand of queer they're dealing with.
Yeah.
But then it's also nice sometimes to just go with the flat queer umbrella.
Yeah.
And leave it as a, you figure it out kind of
Yeah.
situation. I don't mind a label. It is just like a mouthful to
Yeah.
list them all.
I think it's just funny sometimes.
Yeah,
I really,
it is funny. Sometimes.
I really like saying big words that have a lot of meaning behind them.
I
They're
know.
like a long string of a sentence, and then having people just like look at you at the end of it, and be like, "It's a lot to take in."
Because sometimes it's really sometimes it's really good.
Yeah.
You know, I was thinking, because you do like to list or like say like a monologue.
Yeah.
In D&D.
In D&D.
And you feel really proud of yourself afterwards.
Yeah.
Like, we talk about it after the session and stuff.
Yeah.
You feel really proud when you deliver it well.
Yeah.
And that's like, you know, I was watching Superman.
Yeah.
2024.
Sure.
And, you know, like listening to Lex give his little monologue.
Yeah.
And he's such a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And he's such a loser that it's like, it's a very, what is his name? Nick? Whatever?
Holt. Yeah.
Very well done.
Yeah.
Acting wise.
Sure.
Delivery of a monologue.
Yeah.
But also like such a well written monologue that still makes him seem so pathetic.
Yeah.
I really liked it. And like watching it, it's my favorite movie of all time currently.
Sure.
Watching that again earlier today, it does remind me of some of the times where you do monologues.
Yeah.
Yours are much less pathetic. They're
Yeah.
they're a lot more emotionally manipulative when they're coming from your villains. But it's like the same, like they're just so captivating.
Right.
Yeah.
I love a monologue. No, I don't actually love a monologue because monologues are like weird. Conversations are way more fun where there is like a back and forth and a banter and a thing. But there is a point where it's like, okay, I'm gonna like there's a back and forth in the conversation, and then it's like, okay, I'm just gonna talk now, and then I just say all the things. And sometimes like a back and forth in a conversation is like you talk for 10 seconds, I talk for 10 seconds, you talk for 10 seconds. But now it's my turn, and I'm going to talk for like 40 seconds. And in that 40 seconds, I'm going to say a lot of really long words. I'm going to say a lot of things that have a lot of meaning, and it's going to make you laugh at the end of it. And my like one.
Is this a villain PC conversation or just a general NPC
in general,
PC
in general, like I also
real
do
life?
it in real life as
Okay.
well, and it makes me laugh. And then sometimes when people are like, when I'm talking about my queerness, and when I'm talking about all the things and all the labels and things that I have, sometimes I say all of those things, all the labels that I have, and I get to the end of it, and everyone's like, "Oh yeah, cool," and I'm like, "Great." That's fun. You understand me a little bit more from 30 seconds of a thing. Like I think, talking is magical, literally magic, in that I have a thought in my brain, I make some noises, and you understand the thoughts that are now in my brain a little bit better. That's literally magic. Yeah. So for me to know words and articulate different things and categories and labels about myself, communicate those to you, and you understand me a little bit better, magic. That's fun.
I can't rattle off my labels right now. I couldn't.
Yeah.
I don't think I could.
Yeah. I like them sometimes.
Not smoothly.
But I think there is the thing of like the argument to be made, or like the idea that you can have you have your label in your community, your queer community, and that brings you closer with other people who have those labels in those communities. And that's there's potential for that. I also find that so many queer people are fucking obnoxious, and I don't want to talk to them.
Yeah, but that's I also don't think that's particular to queer people.
No, I think that's just
a lot of
people in
people are
general.
obnoxious.
Yeah, but so
That's just
so many. It like it gives you the opportunity. You're like, oh, you are also a lesbian. Great. Let's talk about that. And you realize that, like, oh, yeah, you're a bit weird. Okay, never mind. I'm not going to talk to you anymore. Or you talk to another trans person. You're like, oh, yeah, you're a bit weird. I'm not going to talk to you anymore.
It's the same with
You talk
every
to a
community,
asexual, it's like,
I
oh,
suppose.
Yeah. But
I
there's,
mean, like,
there's people who you can talk to, you know, the power in labels sometimes is that you go out, you try and find all of those people in those communities, and sometimes you don't vibe with all of them, and that's okay. And sometimes you do vibe with some of them because they like, there's the Venn diagram of things. They are in that community, but they also do maybe a D&D thing, or maybe they're an Indigenous thing, or maybe they're all of those things. And you're like, we exist in all these communities together. We exist in this Venn diagram of things. Wait, we should like hang out a little bit more, and that's fun. But it isn't like, you know, all trans people don't get along with all trans people.
No.
All lesbians don't get along with all lesbians.
yeah,
like
that's not the thing where like suddenly you're all queer, so you must all be friends.
No.
I've met plenty of queer people that I'm not necessarily friends with.
And that's fine.
We're multifaceted.
Multifaceted.
What's the word?
I don't know.
Enigma.
Yeah. We're
John Green.
enigmas.
We're enigmas.
Oh no.
I contain multitudes.
Contain multitudes. So D&D.
Well, first we should do a show and tell.
Oh yeah.
Because again, for episode 1,
Yeah.
we made the joke,
Yeah.
but it was a planned joke,
Yeah.
scripted, about putting art on this door here
Yeah.
that sits between us.
Mm-hmm.
And then the episode that will one day be Schrodinger's episode
Sure.
of indigeneity. We had a bunch of art on the wall, on
Yeah.
the door.
We'll get up there again.
We'll get it up there again when we get to that episode.
We can't be bothered.
You'll
right
never know if it's the same art though.
now.
And then, so today we've got this art.
Yeah.
Whoa. Today we've got this art.
Yeah.
It's really small. You can't see it.
No.
But I'll put it forward a little bit. Oh,
Yeah.
you can kind of see that now.
You can't see it.
This is my first major D&D character.
Yeah.
On the what side is that? On my side of the picture
That's
is Manoa.
Yeah. And on
who
this side,
on the other side is his
husband that he murdered.
former husband, dead husband.
Yeah.
Coda. And we did talk about him as well in the last episode. That will never be, but maybe will be one day. But
Sure.
Anyway, his name's Manoa Pangamiro. He was my first major full campaign character,
Mm-hmm.
and is a man.
Mm-hmm.
Scandal,
Mm-hmm.
first man I played in D&D.
Is that true?
Well, no, I suppose not. Actually,
Yeah.
second man I played.
Yeah.
Technically, the first one was an old man.
Oh yeah, Lucis.
Lucis.
Yeah.
Was an elderly man
Yeah.
who was a bad dad, which
Wow.
has become
What
came back around again with
Yeah.
my current character. But that was intentional. I brought it back around again for him because I liked the idea with Lucis.
Yeah.
But Manoa, I wrote in 2020 before we started our first main campaign.
Yeah.
As a opportunity to explore my Cook Island identity.
Yeah.
In a fictional world.
Sure.
But I also made him a completely just straight up homosexual man.
Mm-hmm.
When up to that point, I think I'd mostly played bisexual women.
Maybe.
I
Mostly.
think so.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the first character I made for D&D was Raz.
Yeah.
And she was a bisexual woman, but was married to a man.
Yeah.
The second one was Ayla.
Yeah.
Who was a bisexual woman who was
Little
just-
slut.
She was a slut, but also just a free spirit.
Yeah.
Doing
great.
whatever she wanted.
Doing whatever
Didn't
she
really
wanted.
know how the world worked. Grew
No.
up in the woods.
She's great.
Classic D&D.
She's real cool.
And then Manoa was just a straight up homosexual man.
Yep.
What an experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be a man who loves a man.
It was difficult.
Really? Why?
Like, when I decided it about him,
Yeah.
I decided it as a challenge to myself.
Sure.
When I wrote him as that, I was like, this isn't my lived experience.
Yeah.
I will see how it goes.
A bit of cultural ethnography.
Yeah,
a bit of
I
living-
suppose. I was doing
living
some
as-
research.
Yeah. Which is pretty much how we play D&D all the time. It's like, let me like do this thing that like, let me be this character that I've never lived that kind of life before. Let me explore that a little bit. Which we do that
I suppose.
often. Yeah.
I didn't think about D&D that way when I made Manoa.
Oh,
I wasn't thinking about D&D like that.
yeah.
I didn't have that much like actual analytical thought
Interesting.
about D&D as a system and what
Yeah.
I could achieve in it as
Wow.
a person.
Yeah.
Like, I was purely just writing a character and trying to usurp my own expectations of the kind of character I would write.
Usurp them?
Usurp?
Usurp? I don't think that's
Usurp?
the word.
Uh,
Explore?
Is it not usurp?
No, usurp is when you like steal the
just
throne.
yeah, I know, but isn't it? I was just trying to do the opposite of what I normally would.
Okay.
Well, I was trying to. What's the word when somebody's expectations?
Oh, yes, I know the word. I don't know. I know.
But
know.
yeah, I
Yes,
was
that
trying
one.
to do that.
Yeah.
Where like people would expect from me to make a cool bisexual woman.
Yeah.
I'm going to make a stick in the mud.
Can I be honest?
Yeah.
Every time, you haven't done it often, but you have done it a few times. Every time you've played a woman who's like big and buff and like badass and like whatever.
I don't make big buff.
But like
badass women.
you've maybe not buff, but like badass, you know.
Yeah.
You play badass women, I'm like, this is cosplay for you. This is not you. This is so different
What is
to who
me?
you are. Huh? What is you?
What?
Like who is
Let's
you
jump
now?
away from Manoa right now.
Let's jump away
Let's
from
jump
you
away
now.
from Manoa.
We know
And
like,
let's say we know now that I've aligned myself
Yeah.
with my last character, Kess.
Cass.
I've made myself become more like him
Yes.
because I love and respect him so much.
You are most definitely him. Yeah.
And I started out at a point in that campaign where I was a little bit like him, but I made Kess as a intentional research experiment thing
Yeah.
to try and make who I wanted to be.
Yeah.
That was intentional.
So
After
in our,
finishing that campaign with Manoa, I knew what the power of D&D was
in
to
our
an extent.
first campaign, you were a homosexual man, a gay man, loving a gay man. In our second campaign, you were Kiss, like a god angel boy, and yeah, he was like everything, pansexual,
Yeah, he's whatever. he
bisexual,
wants.
whatever he wants to be. And like, you played Manoa, and you were like, yeah, he's a character. There are definitely elements of you in him, and the way
Yes.
that he explores his sexuality and his gender and all that stuff. There are elements of you in him, but he was his own thing for sure. We played our second campaign. You became the character of Kess, like in the game and everything, and you explored like who he was through the game, and you figured out that like so much of him was you. Like it is like an honor to like be a part of that story, like being the DM for that game in which Kess existed, and you figured out who he was through playing him, and figuring out who you were through playing him, and how much of like him is you in the real world. I'm like, wow, like we didn't realize the power of like what was happening in our game at that, like in the moment. We knew that there was something happening. We knew that there was a lot of meaning in everything that we were saying, and the way that we were playing the game was very, very meaningful, but we didn't realize what was going on until like after the session had happened, and we were like, whoa, what has happened? We've explored a thing, we've like tested the boundaries of who we are as people through our characters, and your own expression of gender and personhood expanded because of the way that you played Kess. And by the end of the campaign, we realized that you are just Kess. Like, the way that you move through the real world is just the way that he moves through our game world. And, yeah, like, he is... Through playing him in our game, you explored what it was to be a man in, like, a simulation. And then you took your lessons from there. And it wasn't like, you know, it's like, ooh, I have no idea how to be a man, you know? And so, like, I'm using this simulation, the simulated game to explore manhood and, like, whoa, I'm learning so much. It's like, no, you already knew what it was to be a man. You knew exactly how to be that man. And then it just, like, playing the game, it's like you explored your own version of that.
Yeah, well, it's like we talked about in the Schrodinger's episode.
Yeah.
and we will talk about it again,
Sure.
of course.
Yep.
But playing Manoa as a allegory for a Cook Islands man was me exploring being a Cook Islander in a way that was wholly my own. And he just also happened to be gay.
Yeah.
Playing Kess, I think you're right, was like an exploration of masculinity and being a man in a way that was my own. Because he's, I think, in a like not very traditionally masculine Kess. He I think Manoa had a lot of what I had thought about at the time 6 years ago as traditional masculinity in the way that I saw it play out in my own life and from my own male moral role models. And then Kess was more, again, like, not necessarily the man that I wanted to be, but the person I wanted to be. And he was doing manliness in a way that I felt I could as a person.
Yeah. I think to me, it wasn't like a way that you could. It was like the way that you do.
Yeah,
you know?
I think over the course of the campaign, at the beginning, I think I wrote Kess as like this is who I want to be.
Yeah.
And throughout the campaign, Kess and I became each other.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like I finished the campaign trying to be Kess. He became me as I became me through playing him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, you know, there's like what is the word? There's the escapism of it all, right? I don't believe in escapism, and this is a thing that you and I know and have known for years. I don't believe in games as escapism.
Or in the negative stigma that surrounds like escapism as the descriptor that's given to games.
Exactly. I don't believe that using a game to escape the real world and like escape into a fantasy world or whatever, I don't think that's what we're doing. I don't think
it adds to the real world.
I think it exactly, it adds it, like it's playing a game in which you are exploring a thing, exploring a world, or you know, let's say you're playing Assassin's Creed, you know, and you're playing that game and you're becoming an assassin, you're exploring that world. You don't stop existing in this one. Yeah. You know, you don't stop existing in this real world.
It is
You're still
adding
in this
to
real
your
world.
experience of this real world.
Exactly. You are exploring a story. Stories are a part of this world. You are not leaving this world to be in a story.
I do think the way that it's like a traditional media thing. Like the way that traditional media thinks about and perceives games also is like that shitting on story as a meaningful piece of media and like as something that contributes to the greater art of the world.
Yeah.
And is inherently racist.
Absolutely.
But, you know, we know that. We'll talk about it another time probably. But also,
But the idea that you were playing D&D and we were escaping this reality to become a different person, to then return to it at the end of the session and just be like, oh no, I'm so sad I don't get to live in that real world or in that fake world or whatever. That's not true. Like, D&D is an extension of our world. It's not even an extension. It is a part of our world. Like, the stories that we tell, the games that we play, they are a part of our world. And the part of a world that we, like, it helped us explore different parts of ourselves, different facets of ourselves. And you being, you playing a game as Kess or whatever, like, you weren't escaping who you were using the game to explore who you were. And that's a good thing and a meaningful thing. And, like, I think it's important to recognize like that D&D can be a game in which you are running away from something. You know, you can run away from certain. Some people can think like, you're running away from the reality of this world and like the shitty gender that you have, and you're running into another one, and you're becoming more yourself there as well. But I think it's also just a place where you can like live out and test different things. It is a place where you're, you know, in the most ideal world, in a D&D game, you are sitting at a table with people who care about you, or who care about the story, who care about your characters, and care about the exploration of those characters and the exploration of, you know, another world and stuff. And it should be a place where you can, or at least, I don't know, I'm projecting on other people's tables, but our table at least, it is a place where you can explore who you want to be, you know, and it has been true for the last, however long, that to some degree, we can explore different parts of who we want to be at the table.
I think that's been true of our table the whole time that you've been DMing at it.
Yeah, but like
it is particularly true at our current table.
To a greater or lesser degree based on the people that were at the table. Some people didn't give a fuck. Some people just turned up to roll dice and play a game. And it's like, yeah, you're not here to actually bond with me. You're not here to actually form a connection with me and learn about yourself. You're just here to roll dice and kill monsters. And I'm like, fuck off, leave me alone.
Yeah,
I don't want to do that.
That is, I think, a lot of tables of D&D.
Yeah.
And
that's okay. Like, that's okay. It's just
that's just
not the game that I want to play.
That we enjoy playing the most.
Yeah.
And that, we would prefer to spend the time that we have playing.
Yeah.
Is that kind of game at that kind of table.
We do a lot of. I said it as a joke, but we do a lot of cultural ethnography. Yeah. Ethnography. Explain it to me.
Oh, you really put me on the spot. It's been a couple weeks since I read some ethnography.
I got you.
Okay.
There's what is it? What's the opposite?
There's auto-ethnography and ethnography, but...
So there's ethnography is the one in which there's anthropology, in which it is outsider looking in. It's like you're at the zoo, there's a glass wall in front of you, you see the animal inside, you sit there with your book and you write notes on it, And it's like you are detached from the creature inside there. It is a creature and you are studying it. Ethnography is where you go in and you live with that thing, with the people. Ethnography is like it's a deeply humanizing way of learning about a people and a person. Is you go and live with them, and their problems become your problems, and their life becomes your life, and that's how you learn. You spend time with them, and you hang out with them, and like they are a part of like the research because they know that it's happening, and they know that it's a life. It's a way of like learning about a people as opposed to just sitting down and studying and being like, this is weird and whatever. Like, it's not the relationship between the researcher and the researched is blurred because you become a part of that thing. And ethnography, that's the point. And so in D&D ethnography, you go and with cultural ethnography, it's like we become the people that we are playing. We live their lives. We become the cultures that they are a part of. The ways that they move through the world. We are more them. We see them. We see how they live, and we take some of that away with us when we leave the table. That's how I like to play, But some people don't like doing that, and that's okay. It's just not my kind of game.
Yeah, that's our kind of game. And I think, like I was reading a couple weeks ago, I read a book. By, I think the name was Tom James Carter.
Mm-hmm.
Got to properly cite your sources. It's called They Came to Slay, and it was like an essay book, like the BWB books.
Yep.
It's like one of those, but not BWB.
Sure.
And I think much smaller.
Sure.
But it's published by 404 Inks, I think is what it was called, and. Yeah, it was talking about the queer history of D&D.
Sure.
And the way that author talks about queer tables, where it makes me think that we are not alone.
Sure.
That the way that we want to play and the safe place that we want to create around the table for queer players to explore whatever, whether that be their queer identity or just general identity, and whether or not that exploration leads to anything, like any changes coming of it, or if it's just a good time to test something out, put it down, move on. It seems to be something that happens quite a bit.
Yeah.
Around the D&D community, particularly for queer people.
Yeah.
But yeah, I again, this is why the PhD is on this, is like I'm intrigued about how that changes or is further changed by being Indigenous as well, and how we navigate our Indigenous queer identities, what the overlap is.
Yeah.
As like you are Takatapui, you identify as Takatapui.
Mm-hmm.
And whether or not that changes how you play as a queer person.
It inevitably does.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need some actual research. I mean, do we need actual research? I mean, you're doing the actual.
I'm doing the actual research.
I don't need it. I need.
But you need
I'm
to
good.
tell me what you think about it.
True. Yeah.
It's part of the research.
Yeah.
Not that you've signed any participant stuff yet, because I don't have human ethics approval. But hey, right now we're just having a conversation.
Yeah. What did you want me to answer that now?
Well, you asked me at the top of the conversation what
Yeah.
my experience with being queer was before playing D&D.
Yeah.
So now I turn the question back to you.
Yeah.
What, and not necessarily before D&D, I suppose, because we've already moved past that. But
Sure.
like, what has been your experience of being queer?
Yeah.
And figuring out the different labels that you choose.
Yeah.
From playing and from being a DM for D&D.
Yeah. Some really big questions.
Start small. Let me break it down to some smaller questions.
Sure.
You're trans, yes?
Yep.
Well, how'd that start?
Oh God.
In D&D,
Yeah.
like, we were in our second campaign,
Yeah.
the one where I was playing Kess and figuring myself out.
Sure.
We were in that campaign
Yeah.
when you started HRT.
Were we?
Yeah.
We were. Yes. True. Yeah.
We were like a bit into it.
Yeah.
But we were in the earlier months of that campaign when you started going by she they pronouns
Yeah.
instead of just they them.
Yeah. And then yeah. No, that's true.
And I know that part. I know we've talked about it before, that one of the NPCs in that game, Kana, was like
oh yeah.
a gateway drug
It's true.
of womanhood.
No, so they're like, if we think about the beginning of time, like my transness has always been, you know, some people that are born knowing that they are the wrong gender and things. I have always known that I'm just a little bit different, you know. That's the
Yeah.
thing. Is that like I looked in the mirror and I was like, different. And there were definitely times where I was growing up, and I looked like a girl, and people thought I was a girl, and I was like, cool. And then, you know, it was very like, I was like even like 12 or 13, and I'd still be answering the phone, and my voice was very high pitched, and people thought I was like my mum.
I wonder if
or
that's a
something, you know?
universal queer trans experience.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because that happened to me on the phone all the time too.
So
And it
you-
used to make me really uncomfortable.
You were a girl, and you were your mum or
No,
whatever.
everybody thought that I was a boy answering the phone.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, people thought I was a girl or was my mum, and I'd answer the phone and I'd be like, oh no, I'll go get her. And yeah, there were times where people would hit me up like, hey, don't throw like a girl. I'd be like, you fucking like to me. I won't fucking throw like a girl, you little shit. Shut the fuck up.
I'll murder you.
I'll murder you. And honestly, there are definitely times where it's like, you throw like a girl, you run like a girl, you walk like a girl. And there were times where it's like, people sit there and I'd be like, yeah, and what, bitch? I'll stab you. Shut the fuck up. I'll come for you, and what? There's nothing wrong with that. Shut up and leave me alone. There's definitely like times where like, you know, in like my defense of womanhood, long before I even identified as a woman, the anger, the rage, it was there. And so, like, definitely when we started playing D&D, there were times where I had to be a woman, and we played with some pretty shit people to begin with. We played with some pretty crappy people in our early days of D&D, and me being a woman was a bit weird. People didn't like it, you know. They were like, "Oh, ha ha ha, Iwa," you know, the other name, the dead name. Iwa is a girl, ha ha, weird. And I was like, ha ha, yeah. But like the girliness wasn't that. It wasn't exactly the way that I chose to, like, I wanted to be a girl. And so there were times where I was like, oh, I'll just like really lean into like the sexiness of being a woman, because like I'm not sexy at all in my current and back in the day, you know. I wasn't that sexy of a person, so I was like, I'll be a sexy woman, because like that's so different from who I am, and I was really good at it. They were like, I remember there was a time where I was playing with some people and they're like, why are you so sensual? I was like, wait, it's working? Wait, I'm like, I'm acting like a sensual woman, and you're all like, whoa, it's working. I was like, hang on, I'm good at this. And so we kept playing, and then, yeah, our first campaign, there were a couple of women in that game that I was like, oh, yeah, I wish I was her. They're so cool. These girls are so freaking cool. I think I was non-binary when we started playing. I think I figured out I was non-binary.
You went for non-binary
partway through our
into that,
first
I think.
campaign.
Not long into it, but a bit into it.
And that was through playing some of the girls, I was like, oh, I really like being some of the girls. I liked being some of the boys too, but I really liked being the girls. I was like, this is really fun. And then we kept playing, got to our second campaign, and then there were some fucking badass women. We finished our first campaign, and I was like, really, I was vindicated. It went pretty well, and I was like, oh, I can like really explore some like really complex characters and some really complex women. I'm gonna write some badasses. And so I wrote some really badass women, and being them, they're like the best characters I've ever written. And like the way that they move through the world, the way I held myself as them when I was speaking as them in character and acting as them and whatever, it's like the most confident I had been in my life up until that point. I was like, oh wait, I become these people, and I know what to say. I don't stutter. I know what they're thinking. I can feel myself like in my body, as opposed to watching myself third person, like depersonalized way, watching myself navigate the world. I was like, no, I feel like myself as these characters. I was like, whoa, this is really cool and fun and interesting. And then we got like,
there's something about that, like, because the same happened to me with Kess.
yeah,
It's very exciting.
yeah,
And it does, like, make the game kind of addictive.
yeah,
Where you, like, you were saying, I can't remember what you were saying just before, but, like, we got to the end of the campaign, and I was, like, it was when you were talking about escapism. I was quite sad to not be able to go back to it.
Yeah.
Because, like, the feeling of knowing who I was so
yeah,
well
yeah,
while playing Kess was, like, something I'd never experienced before in my life.
yeah,
And yeah, like that feeling has carried over into just knowing myself better now, having played him. But
that's true.
at the time, it was like an addictive experience.
Yep, I
to
agree.
feel that confident about myself.
Yep, and it's like I felt the most alive when I was at the D&D table and I was being these different women, and you know, definitely as the men too. Like I remember in that campaign, I started using she/they pronouns. I completely dropped the he/him, and I started doing the she/they thing, and I realized like, and I think it's just a trans femme thing. I was like, fuck, I hate men. You know, that's the vibe that I had in my soul. I was like, I hate men. I hate being a man. I hate being around them.
I think, well, I can't speak for it, but
yeah,
that does seem just like an experience of being a trans, becoming a trans woman. Is you're like, you hate your own
masculinity and you
so
hate
much.
Masculinity around you and
being put on you as well,
and like having to exist in a masculine space. And it's like, oh, leave me alone. Why is the patriarchy everywhere? Why is this masculinity being forced on me? And you just want to punch everything. You just and so yeah, I used D&D to process that rage that I had over masculinity and men. And there were some men in that game that I played as who I fell in love with. I was like, oh, like that is the kind of man. If I wanted to be a man, like I realized this as I was writing them. I was like, if I was a man, what kind of man would I want to be? I'm not. I know this now. I truly know that I am not a man as I'm writing this character. I know that I'm not a man, but I want to explore what a man can be. A man that I want to know the kind of masculinity that I have the potential to love. I need to know that I can love men because they're not going anywhere. Half the population is manly, masculinely, and I was like, I gotta find a way to love them. There is a capacity there. I have had a terrible experience in my life with men. A lot of men, just not good people. And up until that point, hadn't known a lot of good men and hadn't known a lot of good displays of masculinity. And so I really had to like figure out like, what is it about men that I can fall in love with? And I wrote some really beautiful men, and there were some like amazing moments in our campaign where we just sat and played and we cried. And it is the times where it's like, like I remember I played as your dad, and he was like, he's a god, and he was leaving, and he was giving you this sword that he'd made because you'd asked for it, or like a god had asked you to get this sword from him and like kill him for it or something, but he was just like, nope, I'm just gonna give it to you because I love you and I want you to know that I love you, and I want you to know that I would do anything for you, and I want you to know that I want more than anything to be here with you. I don't want to leave, and I don't want to do this God shit anymore. I just want to be your dad. And that, like, conversation,
I still remember the conversation.
it changed me as a human being, because I figured out what masculinity, good, loving masculinity looks like for me. And I was like, oh, I get it. By understanding my own, by figuring out my own understanding of masculinity, I became more of a woman, because I could see how men could be, how like the best man could be for me. And I knew that that wasn't me. And I became more confident in my own femininity, because I could understand like my own adjacentness to masculinity. And so, yeah, even being men, like, I figured out who I was.
It's really interesting.
Yeah.
Like having been a player in the game, having interacted with all these NPCs that you wrote, the men and the women, and like being a writer myself. It's like, it's so hard to quantify. Quantify?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Like what it is that makes them different from each other.
Yeah.
Because like the personalities that the NPCs that you write have, like the kinds of people that they are.
Yeah.
Like Varian, Kess's dad,
Yeah.
and say like Kana.
Mm.
They're both very complicated characters with a lot going on. And I wouldn't be able to pinpoint what it is that explicitly makes Kana a woman and makes Varian a man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you mean?
Like, if Kana was a man, but still had all the exact same things going on with her.
Yeah.
I just, maybe it's like a shortcoming of my writing abilities.
True.
But I know that it wouldn't be as good, and I don't know why. When it would still be, she would essentially still be the same character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I understand what you mean. Like, when...
Is it just like because we have the cultural context of the society we live in, that the world has existed in for thousands of years? We know how women have been treated historically. We know how men have been treated historically in stories and otherwise. Yeah. So when we bring all of that context with us to a story, see her being a woman, then we have all that to like inform our... I suppose it is.
Oh, surely. There's so much culture and history that we bring into every story that we write. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But like, there's definitely times in history, in media history, in literacy, or literary like works and things, where a man has written a woman, but she's just a man. Like, like she's just a man. She's truly just as a dude. But there's a way, like, for me, Kana, like, there's two women in our second campaign with Kess and everything, where there's Kana, who is like a monk, a badass, wears a leather jacket, punches people in the face, kicks them in the guts, and she's just like absolutely wrecks face. She's a butch, tomboy, femme, lesbian. And yeah, she's a badass. And then there's your wife, who wasn't your wife when you started, but she's hot, she's feminine, she's a femme fatale, she is like deadly, lethal, sharp, she is like hot as hell. She is that kind of woman, you know. Both Kana and her are very hot, very beautiful people, but they're very different, you know, for very different reasons. And Kana is more of a, she has a kind of masculinity to her. Yeah. You know, she has, like, she is feminine. She navigates the world as a woman, but she does do things that would be ascribed to a man in like the 90s or whatever.
Even like my wife, my in-game wife, Arms. Yeah. Even if she had been written as a man. Yeah. And like the same thing. I'm not saying that because Kana has some level of masculinity to her that she would be the same character if she was a man. Sure. I know that she wouldn't be. Yeah. Which is the thing where I'm like, your writing of Brian, of Kana, of Arms, of Iggy, of all of these characters is like, there's nothing explicitly about them that makes them a man or a woman. Like when other male authors, when some, I don't know, like, I don't know, some James Patterson or whatever the fuck his name is,
Sure.
writes a woman, and they are just a man, but he's given her she/her pronouns.
Yeah.
Like your characters aren't like that at all.
Okay.
You're right, Varian,
Yeah.
and I could see him either being a man or a woman,
Sure.
but he's such a like believable man, even though there isn't anything explicitly about him that you've written as a man, other than him just being a dad.
Right. Yeah.
He could have
Like,
been a mum.
I mean, that. Interesting.
I don't know.
The way that you're saying this is very interesting. Like, what? Like, we have to understand like what it is. What does it mean to be a man? What
That's
does
what
it
I
mean
mean.
to be a woman?
I don't
you
know.
And like for me, constantly, at least in D&D, it's like they choose it. Like
I suppose, yeah.
they choose to be that way, and like that's it. That's all it is. There are like things that may be typically ascribed to a gender in society, but often like. At least in my game, like there are people who like there are women who do a masculine thing. There
Subvert
are
is
men
the word that I meant, not
subvert.
usurp.
That's the one. There are things that women do that like men might traditionally do. There are things that men do that women might traditionally do. Like
Yeah.
they swap things around all the
Like-
time, but it is just a choice.
Yeah.
You know, they're constantly making that choice, and it's like there's, I think, it's a thing. It's a joke in like the writing world. It's like, man, why are all my characters so well adjusted? Have they all gone to
Therapy.
100 hours of therapy?
Yeah.
You know, and it's like I think in my game, everyone has like an innate understanding of gender, and they're constantly
Yeah.
choosing their own gender.
Yeah.
And there's times where they're like, okay, I need to work outside what is traditionally ascribed to my gender, and I'm just going to do this other thing for a bit. Like that conversation where Varian was a man talking to his son about how he has to leave him now forever. He is also just like, there's a part of him where it's like, okay, I'm like it could be said that he sort of absconded from masculinity,
Yeah.
adopted femininity, and decided to show vulnerability in saying goodbye to his son. But I don't think that's what happened.
I think I'm coming to a realization, and this might come across as like.
Let me
being just-
finish before
Oh,
you do
sorry.
it. Let me finish.
I'm so excited.
I think when he was talking to him, I don't think that was him saying goodbye to masculinity and
No.
embracing femininity. I think it was him being like, it was him showing love through masculinity. And through him exploring his masculinity and expressing his love through his masculinity, I deepened my understanding of what it means to be masculine and my understanding of what it means to be feminine. And like, I could understand and could find a way to understand that you can show love through being masculine, and that's okay and good. And like, there's plenty of instances where that happens in the world, and like, but constantly in our game of D&D, I'm like thinking about characters and their decisions and the way that they're making a decision or doing a thing, and they are like, okay, I'm going to punch this guy in the face in a womanly way, in a feminine way. I'm gonna punch this guy in a feminine way. And there's other times where like, you know, Kana was the kind of person who she was like, fuck, I need the like confidence of a straight white man right now, and she'd punch someone in the face, and like that's the vibe that she did it in, you know. And there's other times where she's like, no, fuck this guy, I am a woman, this guy's a piece of fucking shit, and I'm gonna kick him in the face because of it. Like, there's different ways that like you do a thing, and there's a different way that you adopt a behavior for different reasons. And Kana was the kind of person, she just like jumped around all over the place gender wise whenever she needed to, but she always identified as a woman for sure. But she did things because she stole the confidence of a man to do a thing as a man, but always remained steadfast in her identity as a woman. Continue with what you were saying.
I think I'm coming to a realization.
Yes.
And this might come across as me just being like a massive fan of your work.
Sure.
Where I think I need to get comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
I think that I think I have been but perhaps mostly have been privileged in telling a lot of stories with you over the last however many years, and witnessing you tell stories over our entire relationship, where how you write men and women and everybody, or the non-binaries, how you write characters and choose to portray gender identities with them is like way that we want everyone to consider gender
Yeah,
all the time
for sure.
in the real world and in story.
Yeah.
So like with all the characters in the campaigns and all the NPCs and everything, like while you don't have them in a particular like this is the man box and they do all the man things. They, like you're saying, they're choosing the identity of man or woman or non-binary or trans or whatever, and just being themselves across the spectrum of gender identity however they want to. And like maybe that is why I see your characters and I can be like, they could be anything because they're not doing anything particularly masculine and sticking to that and being like, because I identify as a man, I'm going to do majority masculine things and minority feminine things.
Yeah.
They're doing whatever they want whenever they want because they're just being themselves and identifying as whatever gender they are, which is like also the conversation we already had about like how I consider Kess to be whatever he wants to be, and through playing him, I realized I can be whatever I want to be and identify however I want to identify as. And that's, the characters that you write already are doing that.
They're like the way, Thanks. That's really nice to say. But yeah, no, it's true. Like the way that like the characters, they just sort of like hop around in the gender and the way that like people, consider gender stuff. Like that's what I think. That's what the people I love do. Yeah. You know, the people who are closest to me already kind of do that. Yeah. You know, and have always been doing that. Yeah. It's just like when we were younger, when we were stuck in Western schooling systems and Western society, and when we were in like far less progressive leftist spaces, we had to stay in those little boxes, and it was dangerous to be out of those little boxes. But now we're older. We have our own agency. We have control of our spaces and the people that we get to be around. And it's like, fine, it's normal. Yeah. It's so normal to just do whatever you want to do. And there are times where the behaviors that we exhibit are indicative of things or or exist within genders, gender behaviors typically ascribed to a specific gender within Western society. And that is weird, but also okay sometimes. There's different, like, you know, I like that I today present very feminine and have like legs showing and I'm looking hot as hell and I look like a feminine badass woman, and that's okay, you know? I think if I also wanted to look like this and also be considered a man, that's fine too. But I like that this is traditionally in Western society ascribed to a woman.
It's an indicator of womanhood.
Indicator of womanhood, and I choose to adopt that and take that because I want to be looked at as a woman. Yeah. And I think that's a good thing sometimes. But I think the conscious decision to take that and do that, it's the knowledge of knowing that that is a thing in society and taking that forward and doing that to present more women. I think that's okay. Yeah. And there are definitely times in our game where characters do a thing because they know that it is typically ascribed to a gender and they want to be perceived more as that gender, so they do that thing.
I think I am aware of this. I have this knowledge about the NPCs that you write, that they are all like very full, rounded characters. Yeah. They are people with a lot of thoughts and ideas about the things that they're doing. Mm-hmm. Or like if they're, say, like children or something, and don't quite have an idea why they're doing that thing. You know why they're doing that thing, and they will eventually know why they're doing that thing. It's like when we're kids, we do stuff, we don't know why exactly we're doing it, but like there is something about it that we feel like. Like when I was little, at school and stuff, if my friend would get hurt, this because we were doing the autism test yesterday, I was thinking about it. Like when a friend of mine would get hurt, or like just any... usually like a younger kid around me at school would get hurt, and they would be like, they needed a distraction from their own pain, and I was like a little autistic, didn't know how to do that really, so I'd hurt myself as well. Just so that we were having a shared experience and that they had something to distract them with. I didn't know that's why I was doing it at the time, but I knew that it had worked before and usually worked every time, so I kept doing it. Now I know that it was like I was trying to share the experience with them so that they didn't feel like they were alone.
Yeah.
It wasn't embarrassing that they had hurt themselves, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
But yeah, even the kids in our campaigns are doing things, making choices for reasons that, like, they've got a full brain in there.
Yeah.
They're making choices because there's experiences that they've had and there's things that are happening to them and around them that influence and inform their decisions.
Yeah.
Whether or not they're aware of it, you are, and you're writing them that way. And it's
Yeah.
the same with their gender identities as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love playing D&D with you.
It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty great. So
Yeah.
it's nice that it's nice having someone in the world who appreciates it and recognizes those things.
Yeah.
Because I do think about all those things, and it's like, man, I really hope people are watching. Really hope the people at the table know what's going on and why this
Like,
thing is happening.
There's always going to be some times where I'm like just struggling for whatever reason.
Yeah.
External forces, stuff outside of the game in
Yeah.
real life, etc.
Yeah.
That I like, I'll miss it for a second.
Yeah.
But it's always a thing that I know.
Yeah.
It is always knowledge that is in my head that
Yeah.
these are full characters that have reasons and feelings and
Yeah.
thoughts and their own ideas about what's going on. Like, for example, a recent NPC added to our little adventuring party, Carl,
Yeah, Carl.
who began as like inevitably a throwaway NPC.
Yeah.
He was just some messenger kid who got sent to tell us to
Yeah.
come to a meeting.
To be fair, when I created Carl, I knew that he was going to exist prior to when we started. Like, it
Sure.
wasn't just
Yeah, I
like
know.
a thing that like
In the
I
moment,
created
you
in the
didn't just
moment.
pull Carl out of
I
your
was
butt.
like, like I knew I was like, everyone's so cool right now. I need someone who is like
just some
useless
normal
and bad,
guy.
just like a normie. And so I created Carl, and he
Yeah.
turned up, and he was like, "Hello," and it was just like
He
a
gave
very
us the
normal
message,
person.
and we were like, "What's your name?"
And he said, Carl, and you were like, "Your name's Carl."
Carl.
What do you mean your name's Carl? Who? Everyone else is like, "I am the goddess of all power and might," whatever. And you're Carl.
I don't know what my name is, but I'm a piece of the sun. All right. Okay, lady.
But then Carl came along, and you're all like, "What? Huh?" And you obviously fell in love with Carl.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
now he's here.
I wouldn't go so far as to say at the time we fell in love with
No,
Carl.
I
He
also
was
don't think you're in
funny.
love with Carl, but he
But-
exists, and you keep bringing him along.
Yeah, we brought him along. What I'm trying to say,
Yeah.
and compliment your DM and writing prowess,
Sure.
is we brought Carl along.
Yeah.
At the time we met Carl, he was a little messenger kid.
Yeah.
Whatever. He was just bringing us a message to go to a meeting.
Yeah.
Yada, yada, yada. Several sessions passed, less than a day in real game time.
Yeah.
And we brought him with us to like take notes or whatever on a
Mhm.
little meeting and stuff, take minutes.
Mhm.
And, you know, inevitably he then became an integral part of the ensuing battle in which tons of people, almost like a good amount of people that he knew and had grown up with in this town that was our base, died
Yeah.
in an attack on the village.
Yeah.
And he immediately,
Yeah.
like, you imbued him with so much sincerity
Mm-hmm.
and like his own thoughts, feelings, reactions,
Mm.
very real emotional turmoil
Mm-hmm.
that came about as a result of the events that had happened that we got him embroiled in.
Mm.
I just think it's great.
It's
Like-
really fun.
You are very good at immediately switching in a very believable and realistic way an NPC who was just could have been a throwaway to being a character that we can all look at as the party to like signify the feelings of the people that we know and are close to and have been
Yeah.
close to,
Yeah.
and he becomes like the marker of that
Yeah.
essentially.
Is very interesting. I so desperately wanted him to die.
Can't kill
I
Carl.
wanted him to die, but you kept bringing him along, and
You
I was
can't
like,
kill Carl. Okay.
well, now he's here, and I need him to be. I need an anchor. I need an emotional anchor for everything that's going on around you. Everyone else is a badass. Literally, everyone else is really, really cool, and like could very easily switch the emotional button to just like stop feeling things and be okay and just like continue on with the action. He is just a fucking guy,
Yeah.
and so he was just like, I'm just gonna be sad about it.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, "Damn, Carl, I'm so sorry, Carl."
It's just there's really small. They're not. I think that other people would consider them quite small
Yeah.
signs.
Sure.
Like, sometimes you watch a TikTok,
Yeah.
and people are like, "Look at these really subtle design choices that the writers made to portray these feelings that the characters are having," and then it's like the most obvious sign in the world that's lit up and on top of a building.
Yeah.
And I think this is one of them, mostly
Right.
because you repeated it a few times, so
Yeah.
that we really picked up on it.
Sure.
But like in the heat of the battle, in the heat
Yeah.
of the moment,
Mm.
Carl's armor was like too big, and he couldn't carry his sword properly
Yeah.
because he's clearly a young kid
Yeah.
who has no choice but to be in the fight. You
Yeah.
know, it's
Yeah.
a classic motif.
Sure.
It's a classic thing. But you did that enough times that like it makes the players, our party, care for him,
Yeah.
worry about him, and want to find him something else to be doing instead.
Yeah.
And then inevitably we have to live with the consequences of that, where he is now like building a pyre for all the people that died.
Yeah.
Anyway, queerness.
Queerness.
How did you feel in our last campaign?
Yeah.
Playing out a unhealthy marriage with me.
Oh, it was hilarious. It was so funny. It's really funny because, like, in our real life world, it's normal. It's totally normal in a relationship, in a real world relationship, for some people to be better at other things than for one person to be better at the other thing than the other person. I am quite emotionally mature and in tune with myself, and I know all those things about, like, I have a good understanding of myself. I have a good understanding of my own capabilities and my own sort of like limitations of my emotions and things. I'm very in tune with who I am and how I navigate the world and all that stuff. You
Not so much.
not so much. You're learning.
Getting there.
You've learned a lot, to be fair.
And a lot of that was through Kess, but yes, continue.
And in the 13 years that we've been together, you've changed. Well, not changed. You're still the same, like who you are.
I've grown.
But you've learned, you know. Yeah, you've grown as a person, and your understanding of your emotions and your understanding of like how you think and how you move through the world has developed, and that's really cool to like watch and be a part of. But in D&D, it's like I've seen you as a person in the real world grow into yourself. You know, I know where you started, I know where you are now, and I've seen that development. And there's a sort of infantilization. I still see you sometimes as that little person who doesn't really know all those things, and I'm like, cool, I can help you get to here, and I can help you process something in a situation. We do the same thing often, like, you know, we swap roles sometimes, but there are times where I see that little cute little person, and I'm like, I'll help you understand this thing, and we work on it together. But I still see that little person sometimes, you know, even though you're big, buff, badass, I still see little baby Caitlin sometimes. And then in D&D, like, it's like we started day one with Kess. I never got to see, I know who he is. I know how he got to who he became at the beginning of our campaign. But it's like, bam, he is you. Like, he has all of the emotional maturity that you currently had day one. He was that person, you know? He's the only person that I ever knew. He was at that point, you know? And so when we started playing the game of D&D and you married this beautiful woman who is an mental and emotional idiot, you know? She doesn't...
Hey now.
But she's like the smartest person in the world, one of the most powerful people in the world. She is, I think, a natural born empath. She understands people's feelings. She does not care.
Yes.
She is a sociopath. She is a narcissist. She does not give a fuck. But Kess is the opposite of that. He is a natural born empath, but he loves people and he cares about people. And I think that's where you are now, right? That's like Caitlin, who you are like that now. Kess has always been like that. In his entire existence, he was that. And so when he was talking to Arms, his wife, and she was like, oh, I see how you feel. I don't care. I need you to do this thing for me or we're all going to die. Like, she had her reasons for being emotionally cut off and distant and sharp. But yeah, she refused to look at those things. She didn't want to know. She didn't want to like develop those things. But Kess always did. He always wanted to know a little bit more, and he always wanted to like help her process those things. And so, yeah, I think it's funny that we swapped kind of in real life.
In the game.
Yeah, you were the emotionally mature one, and I got to play.
I think it was a
like-
good experiment.
Yeah,
It was a good learning experiment for me.
yeah,
Or learning experience even.
Yeah.
To, like have the opportunity to see, not that I don't think I'm like Arms.
No,
when
I also don't think
am
you're like her.
emotionally.
She's different. She's way different to you. She's way
But-
different.
I think it was good for me to be put in a position where I did have to play the emotionally, like,
In
empathetic,
tune,
in
yeah.
tune, the more emotionally vulnerable and confident person in
Yeah.
the relationship.
Yeah.
Um.
I think the way that Arms works is she is the, if I had no emotional maturity, I think that's who I would be.
Yeah.
I would be like her. She's
Yeah.
just like pragmatic, narcissist, just like, I don't think I'm a narcissist,
No.
but like the way that she,
But very pragmatic.
Very
Very
pragmatic,
like
very
I need to
cunning.
do this thing.
very like yeah.
I'm like. I think there is a bit of her that is like, I'm sorry I have to do this to you, but I'm going to.
But I'm going to.
because
And
it has to be done.
Sometimes I am like that in certain things.
Yeah, when
when I
it's
have
necessary.
to be. When I have to
Yeah.
be. Yeah. Sometimes as a teacher you have to be like that, you know? You don't want to be. You never want to do that. But there are times where it's like, you have to do this now.
Yeah,
Like I'm sorry, I know you don't
like
want
kind
to.
of for your safety and
For
well-being,
your
it
safety
needs
and
to
well-being,
happen.
you have to do this thing.
Yeah,
I'm so sorry. I know it makes you uncomfortable. You gotta do this. Yeah. But like I'm much nicer about it, obviously. But she's an asshole, and it was so interesting getting to play like, you know, the emotional vulnerability that is in me. I am like that sometimes. Just crank it to like 1,000 and have you deal with it. It was like, cool, go hard, kid.
good luck.
Good luck. See how you manage that.
Well, how do you feel about having come out the other side of it? Like,
Yeah.
we went into that campaign being different genders.
Yes.
We came out the other side being different genders.
Yep.
And married to each other in game.
Yep.
Like, I think that our relationship grew quite a lot
I agree.
from playing them.
I agree. Because you... There are so many things that Arms did you hated.
Yeah.
You hated, like, as Kess, as Caitlin, you
Yeah.
also hated her. And I think it was a good, like we cried a lot about their relationship in real life.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of bleed between those things. And I
Yes,
think
of course.
there's, we cried a lot about them because just like, and it's not like a bad thing. Like the story necessitated that, like, they have to do some really crazy shit, and like it was really, really hard, and it made us very emotional, and that's okay. We're grown up, we've done this, we've told stories with each other for almost a decade, and it's good. It feels good and like cathartic to cry about these things, and it was really good. But it is like, it's very emotional, and sometimes it can be scary for some people, but for us it's really good. But yeah, I think them being shit at their relationship definitely made us better at ours.
Yeah. I think so too.
Yeah.
And like, to bring it back to the queerness,
Yeah.
I think because you and I, we were both figuring out our gender identities while playing them.
Yeah.
And figuring out what it meant to still be in a relationship with each other while we were essentially switching genders.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like, through playing Kess and Arms,
Yeah.
regardless of how like bad their relationship was for
Yeah.
a bit, like, we got to practice being like a different gender.
Yep.
Even though I didn't necessarily come out of the campaign being a man.
Yeah.
You did come out of the campaign being a woman.
Yeah.
And we got to like try different gender roles through them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I think helped like it was a massive change, I think, in our relationships.
Yeah.
To have come. How many years would it? It would have been like 9 years into our relationship when we started that campaign.
Yeah.
Having known each other as man and woman
Mm.
and non-binary and woman,
Mm.
it was a massive change for both of us to be like, hey, I think I want to be a man sometimes, and you to be like, hey, I think I'm just a girl.
Yeah.
And being able to practice that in the game
Yeah.
with each of them was like very helpful for me.
Yeah.
Being
able to practice that, like, you only ever played one character at a time.
Yeah.
I played a fuck ton of
Yeah.
characters, but I got to explore my gender identity through a lot of different characters, but I got to explore my gender identity in a relationship with Arms and you.
Yeah.
With the Arms and Kiss.
Yeah.
And it was very interesting. And I like that, like, yeah, we figured out sort of gender roles and we tested them and we experimented with them a little bit. Like, Kiss being the emotionally mature one, and, as the man, which is like not necessarily what is expected in Western society. Traditionally, like normally it is the woman who's more in tune with that sort of stuff. And I think it's very interesting to see like Kiss like play that role and being like, hey, you're not nice to me, you're not kind to me, and ask his wife to be nicer to him and to consider him and all that sort of stuff. It's like to be vulnerable, beautiful, like amazing, holy shit. And then for her to be this sharp, stony person, to be like, no, you're right. I love you. I don't want you to go.
Yeah.
Please stay with me. Please help me be a bit better. And please help me stay, I'm so, to everybody else, I'm so confident and I'm so powerful. But around you, I'm so weak and I am so sad. Please just help me be better. And it's like, it's beautiful.
It was,
yeah,
I think, one of the best experiences we've ever had in life.
Yeah, I
was
agree.
to tell their story and to explore their relationship.
Yeah.
And there is a lot of overlap and bleed into like how it changed our relationship. But even just removing that from it and just talking about it as storytellers, as people who are telling their story in that campaign, I think it's one of the best stories we've ever told. Where like, just making the conscious choices as them, as speaking from Kess's point of view, making the conscious choice as him to like recognize early on that there was some sort of, she had like a shield up hiding her vulnerability from everybody else, and choosing to play him, like trying to play him as a man who wasn't being like, hey, I know you better than you know yourself.
Right.
Like trying to play him as someone who had a level of masculinity, but wasn't just like an asshole and wasn't like a, I know what you need and what you need is me. Like, it was just very interesting to do. It was a lot of fun. I don't think that was ever his approach to it. It was always, I know you need something. I want to help you figure out what that is. Whether or not it's me, who cares? Like, I'm, as far as I can tell, one of the only people who's trying to figure it out what it is that you need. Yeah.
Yeah. Is very fun and very, I don't know if we'll ever tell a story that cool. That's not true. No, I don't know
We're
if we'll ever
telling
tell
cool stories, but we're never going to tell that one
that
again.
story. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm really happy with what that one was.
Yeah. It's really good.
Yeah. So, I guess queer D&D
It happens.
happens
Cool.
all the time, constantly, and we've had a lot of fun with it over the years, and we'll continue to have a lot of fun with it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Play the game?
Play the game?
You got one?
No.
No?
Why
do you always come to the table without
our
one?
current game?
No?
Do you have one?
I guess we already kind of talked about all of it, though. Yeah. I mean, I think it's interesting. I do have a play.
Okay.
Again, it's kind of mine. It's my play,
That's fine.
and that's okay. There's a character in our current campaign called Bandit,
Yes.
who is who is
A little non-binary.
non-binary, and is very is the first real, like, there have been non-binary characters in the game before. They've never been like a sort of primary
Yeah.
NPC, and they are hilarious and stupid. I love them so much. They're so funny. And I think, like, even when I was non-binary, I never had any non-binary characters because I was like trying to test out so many different things. But now, as a trans person, as a trans woman, I have Bandit in the game, and they are so stupid, and like the way that they express their gender is they kind of just don't. They kind of just do whatever they want, and it's very funny.
I find them somewhat like the way that you described them when we first met them.
Yeah.
They're such a enigma.
Sure.
Like, I want to say there's like a Venn diagram of gremlin, greasy teenager, and then like a tool, like a spanner.
Yeah.
And they're in the middle.
Yeah.
Bandit is that. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no gender ascribed to that.
No.
They're just this thing.
Just this thing.
They just are Bandit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're really funny. I really like them.
Hit on me, session 1, even though they're underage. Which is crazy. Wild.
It sounds bad out of in context.
In context, it was hilarious.
In the context, it's very funny though. Just being like, hey, you're a hot man.
You'd ever be interested in a 17 and 3/4-year-old
NB badass?
Badass? No.
No. They're like, well, never mind.
Hey, gotta shoot your shot. I'm like, okay. I just got here today. This is our first time meeting.
They are perfect.
Yeah.
I love them.
It was a good time.
Yeah. And I love being them, and I love that they're like you like we basically know their entire family. And their entire family is very like, yeah, they're Bandit. They're just
Bandit.
like, it's Bandit. And even like their little sister is just like, yep, Bandit. Just a little asshole.
That's Bandit.
Bandit.
Yeah, I really like Bandit. It's hard to pick a particular play of the game with queerness because like
it's everywhere.
Everything's queer.
Yeah.
I like. So this is the thing I like, and I did like about the last campaign.
Sure.
So I suppose this is kind of my general play of the game. Is I like playing queer people in straight passing relationships.
Sure.
It's really interesting. So like last campaign, Kiss and Arms, man, woman, but hella queer,
hella gay,
so gay.
Yeah.
And then this campaign, Kata, and like playing out whatever the relationship is between him and his ex-wife, as again a straight passing relationship, but
they're both so gay.
They're both super gay. Like, I don't think I'll ever play a truly straight character. I don't know if I'll ever play like a not everything character.
Yeah.
Like Manoa was just a homosexual man. I don't think I guess never say never, but I don't think I'll ever do that again.
Yeah.
It's just I would rather spend my time exploring the other parts of them as the main story than worrying that much about their queer identity, and it comes more natural to me to just do what I am, which is whatever. Yeah. Yeah.
Nice. It's cool.
Yeah, that's kind of my play of the game, is like playing straight passing relationships, but that are inherently queer.
You know what I really like, which is really funny? I guess it's another play of the game. I guess it's kind of your play of the game.
Okay.
Which is basically you forcing me to play a woman that is in love with a man.
Yeah.
Which you've done twice.
I didn't force you to play Arms to be in love with me.
No, but like, okay.
We started the Arms and Kiss relationship, okay?
Yeah.
With me thinking that she was super hot and very cool.
Well,
and then you denying her being in love with Kiss. So I made it my mission for her to admit that she was in love with me.
I think
so maybe that was forced.
Funny that you make man characters and you know, I am a fierce lesbian who is in love with 3 men. And I think it's funny that you
And make a man who you just can't help but fall in love with.
No, you make men and you tell me that you want to have lots of romances and have lots of sex and stuff and character and games. And I was like, okay, I have to appease you as my player because I'm the DM and that's my responsibility. And so I have to create characters and I have to suspend my own disbelief that, oh my God, this badass woman is in love with a man? What do you mean?
And then I make such a man that it's impossible not to love him.
Yeah.
You can't tell me you came out of that last campaign not loving Kess.
Yeah, I did love Kess. I wasn't in love with Kess, but yes, I did love Kess.
Each their own.
Was I in love with Arms, though? Yes, of course I was.
Yeah, who wouldn't be?
She's gorgeous.
Lots of people wouldn't be.
Yeah. You don't need to play if you don't go on. That's fine.
Mm.
We're already kind of at time.
That's kind of my biggest play.
Yeah.
It's just like so many of my plays are the interactions that you and I have with each other. But yeah, I keep making you play in a straight relationship with me, so it's not super queer. But you know, look at us.
Look at this.
Look at us. I mean, like I like all the little queer interactions and relationships that happen throughout our games.
Yeah.
Like I like that in the last campaign there was like the date between Kess and Stavik.
Yeah.
And it was just a throwaway date essentially.
Yeah.
Because they needed a double date with the other PC and another NPC.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, like I just like that. One of my plays of the game, of in general playing this game with you, is that there is no limits to playing queer.
Yep. True.
Yeah. And you can just do whatever.
Just do whatever you want. True.
It's really fun.
It's fun.
It's the best.
It's good times.
Yeah.
Nice. GG.
GG.
Good stuff.
Next episode.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Who
We
knows?
won't make any promises anymore.
No, because chances are we'll just change it again.
There might be art.
There might be art.
There might not be.
No.
We'll see.
Who knows? It's kind of very far from the camera to have art and stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
Hey, aha.
Hey, aha. We're sitting on the floor.
We're sitting on the floor. We didn't even say our names this episode.
Do we not?
I'm Caitlin.
I'm Ewok.
And that was episode 2.
Yep.
You just want to go.
You just want to go?
See you next month.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.